Hey guys, welcome back to the Called to Lead podcast. So today's episode is a unique one in that I am going to be interviewing alongside my mentor, Sarah Davies, several of the ladies from our team who participated in a training that we did over the summer where we essentially handpicked the girls that were on fire in their business. And they might not have been a high rank or might not have even had a huge team. And in some cases, some of them were stuck or going backwards in their business, but we knew that they had what it took to grow their business. And so we invited them to be a part of a 7-week training program. And what was really cool is the results that we saw from the ones who actually did the work and did the challenges were just unbelievable. And so we are seriously so excited to be rolling out this same program in a 6-week live coaching format that is also going to live in a course that can be accessed again and again. And we're calling it Replicate Your Results, because if you are a network marketing leader who has seen results in your business personally, but either your team isn't duplicating what the actions that you're taking, or maybe you're outselling anyone on your team, or you haven't built a team yet because you can share your product all day long, but you're trying to kind of figure out, well, what does this look like in terms of building freedom through a team? So if this is you, and if you want to build a sustainable passive income business without having to burn yourself out by being a social media influencer or being a top seller in your company, my friends, this program is for you. And again, it's called Replicate Your Results. You can go to replicateyourresults.com. It's open from now until November 23rd for the enrollment. Since this is a live coaching program, we want to make sure everybody's in there and set up before the holidays hit, so that right after the holidays on November the 28th, we can dive right in on this live coaching for you to help grow your income and impact beyond your own personal effort. So some of the stats overall that I want to share with you today before we dive into some of the specific stories are, first of all, when we did the program, only about 1 in 5 or 20% actually did the challenges. And you have to keep that in mind as a leader in your business when you do things like this, is that's about what it takes. And even those of you guys who are listening, we want you to know that you do have to do the work. You do have to do the action. You can't just consume the information and expect there to be change in your business. But we will be giving you these specific challenges and action steps to grow your business. But of those that did the work, 25% rank advanced or hit a higher rank in their business. 40% of them got paid at a higher rank than when they started. And that is because sometimes it's quite normal for people to go a step or two even backwards in their business. And so they got paid at a higher rank than when they started. The average team size growth for this period, and it was just 3 months, was 48%. And you're going to hear even crazier numbers from the girls we're talking to today. And 72% of them doubled their personal sales, which in turn in our comp plan doubles their personal commissions. 72% were on track to qualify for our incentive trip that was happening during that time frame. And then lastly, 56% enrolled at least one new teamie. And overall, we were just completely blown away, and we knew more people needed to be a part of this. And so we are so excited to roll it out to anyone outside of our team, outside of our company, because the principles that we talk about and the foundational elements, whether you are in a fitness company or a health and wellness company or another beauty related company, they absolutely will apply to building your business. These are timeless principles that Sarah and I have paid tens of thousands of dollars to learn and have experienced in our own business. And we are so excited to share them with you. So go ahead and check out replicateyourresults.com for all the scoop, and make sure to dive in before November the 23rd at midnight. So let's get into the episode where we hear more specifically some of the stories of the rock stars who went through this program, and you will love hearing from their heart what they experienced and where they were in their business to now where they are in their business. So let's dive in. Are you dreaming of making a long-term income and impact beyond your own efforts, but feel like you're struggling to replicate your results? I'm Heather, a former burned out boutique owner turned top network marketing leader, and I've learned the hard way that you don't have to do all the things all on your own. Now, my passion is helping social sellers scale their business by choosing faith over fear and using simple, duplicatable systems without having to sell your soul to social media. I'm so excited to share with you simple tips, tricks, and tools to help you take your business to the next level. In each episode, I'll share faith-focused wisdom, proven systems that your team can duplicate, and inspiring stories from other leaders who have been right where you are today. Are you ready to grow your team, find joy and fulfillment, and feel free? Break out your favorite pen and notebook, and let's dive in. All right, you guys, Sarah and I are back again for another episode together. Sarah, thanks for hopping on with me again as we are rolling out something super exciting with this Replicate Your Results course.
Heck yeah. I look for this.
Yes. And
I'm excited.
y'all listening today are in for a special treat because you're going to meet some of our girlies that went through the program that we put together for our teams this summer. We had a little bit of a different name for it, but it was kind of the same principles that were on mine and Sarah's heart in our 5.5 years of business that we just knew were what ladies, just like the ones you're going to meet today, needed to just soak into their brains and needed to exemplify from not just us, but from other leaders that we had seen exemplify these principles in their business. And you guys, when you hear their stories and when you see the results they had, you are going to get so excited because they absolutely just soared in their business. That's the only way I know how to describe it. So you're going to meet Courtney, Mackenzie, and Carissa, and they're going to share a little bit of their experience in working through what is now the Replicate Your Results program. So, girls, thanks for being here today. And
Thanks
we
for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Yay. And these girlies are all across the country too, which is fun. So maybe what we'll do is maybe just like a quick little intro for each of them. And just maybe if you guys could introduce yourself, where you're from, and maybe what your business looked like when you very first started. So this was back in May of this year when we started this program, and y'all were all kind of at different paces and places in your business. So what did your business look like back in May? Courtney, I'll start with you first.
So back in May, I had hit a point in my business where I was stuck. And I had very excitedly hit the top 2% of the company, but I had just hit that point and was stuck there for a while. And I just could not figure out what in the world to do to move forward. And I had several girls that I had the privilege to lead. My sales were okay. And so I really needed something to get me unstuck. So I was really excited when you guys offered this program for our team. And it was exactly what I did. Like, I definitely knew I needed it. And it was such a breath of fresh air and got me moving again, got me from being stagnant and going in the right direction. And by the way, I'm from South Georgia. I am a mom of 6 girls. And when we started, I was pregnant with the 6th girl.
Amazing. Best story ever. Oh my gosh. And how in the heck were you even doing that, running a team? Because how big was your team when you started the program?
So when we started the program, I think there were about 58 girls on my team. And I just try to keep stuff super simple. And I try to keep everything just at a very basic level. And then I poured extra into the girls who wanted to be poured extra. And that was a really great way to manage my time. And I learned to work my business in the stolen moments because at the time I also had a full-time job outside of my Saint business and do a lot of the church. My husband's as a pastor and lots of balls in the air, but that's just proof that if I can work a side business, anybody can. And when I sat in the pickup line waiting, I would work my business or check in with my team. And it was really neat because I definitely grew a lot as a result of doing this program with you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Courtney, for sharing your experience. That's awesome. Okay. Well, let's have Mackenzie answer the same question. Tell us a little bit about, you, where you're from, and then what did your business look like at this past May when you started the course?
I'm from Tampa. I'm a mom of an 8-year-old little boy, and I'm a full-time private investigator. And I was someone who didn't believe in this whole MLM type of business. I wasn't sure about it, but when I came across Seint, I'm a makeup junkie, so I had to jump in. But when we first started the course, I was kind of just going along. I kind of got to the point where I really wanted to excel because this was makeup, this was my thing. And just meeting the women just made it incredible. And joining the leadership, the level up leadership was really great because now you're in a group of women, of these amazing leaders. And having imposter syndrome, I was like, I'll never be there. That's not me. I don't deserve that. So just being surrounded by this positivity and these other leaders and different levels of their business, and just it kind of became a reality that that says this is something I could really pursue and do well at. I had about 5 or 6 girls on my team, and over the time of the level up leadership, I have we've been it's been a month that we've been out of it now, and I have 34, I think, total teamies. So it's kind of neat just to kind of experience that and just have that motivation and that inspiration from all these great people.
Oh my gosh,
Whoa.
thank you so much for sharing. Oh, sorry, Heather, you go.
No, I was just doing the math. I had to bust out my calculator, and that's like almost 600% growth, like in 4 months, 5 months, or something crazy like that. That's insane.
It was a lot, but I was really proud of it. And the thing was, just going into it, like having that stigma of the direct sales and the multi-level marketing, and something I was not crazy about. And then just realizing these are real people, these are real women, and these are real things that they're really doing, and I can do it too. And it just gave me this huge boost of belief in myself. And I just found myself taking more pride in it, and I just soared. It just pushed me to the next level, and I just started sharing more and just felt more confident in it, and just all of it was amazing. It was awesome.
That's great. I mean, I want to circle back to Courtney in a minute because I'm gonna ask Mackenzie this question right now. But Courtney, I want to hear your answer, and then when we get to Chris, of course, she'll answer all these too. But did you rank as well, Mackenzie, during the course of the summer, or like tell me a little bit about? I know your team went from 5 or 6 to 34, but were people ranking? Did you rank? How did that all go down?
Yeah, so I ranked to the top 5% of the company within that first month or two. And I ranked to the top 5% of the company, and I realized that the leadership that the other girls were showing, I kind of lost the imposter syndrome, gained the confidence to lead my team, and realized that now I'm a leader. I have these, and so they started building a team, and so little by little, I've just grown. So yeah, I ranked, and some of them actually ranked too. So that was really kind of cool.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Let's swing back to Courtney real quick, and then we'll go full circle over to Carissa to answer all these questions.
Okay, so as far as rank, I actually did rank up within that first month. I went from being in the top 2% of the company to in the top 1% of the company. And when I started, I think I mentioned before that we had approximately about 58 people on my team. By the end of the program, I had a total of 86. And the
Wow.
momentum has just still been going since then, because now we're up to 97.
Oh my goodness, you're about to hit triple digits, which is such a fun
I'm gonna
milestone.
celebrate when I hit. I know it's silly, and it really doesn't. It's not like I get anything extra for hitting 100, but I think it's important with anything in life to set little goals, even if they are silly. And I am gonna celebrate when we hit the 100. So, and I do, again, the momentum. It all started back in May. So
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I still remember when I hit 100 teammates in my business, and it is exciting. And, that's one of the things we talk about in the course is celebrating the wins all along the way. So I'm glad you're going to do something. Do you know what you're going to do yet specifically, or not?
no, that's been my theme of this entire business. So for anybody that's just trying to do direct sales, if you feel like you have imposter syndrome and don't know what you're doing, I think that's probably almost all of us. So I just have been
Yeah.
running. I'm like, okay, I believe what the product that we offer, and I love helping people. So let me just run, and I'll figure it out as I run. And this program really helped me sit down and get clear on what I wanted and what was possible and what steps needed to take me from here to there. So everything just started clicking a lot better for me, instead of me just like running and praying and hoping.
Mm. Yep. I understand completely. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, Krista, tell us where you're from, a little bit about you, and then what your business looked like in May and then what it looks like now.
Great. My name's Carissa. I live in West Virginia. I'm a mom of three boys, and I do work full time currently as a physician community liaison. So I work in the medical field with doctors and nurses and MAs and referral coordinators. So when my business, so I've been really fortunate. I had been in the business for a month or a year and 2 months when I started this course. And I had a lot of momentum going into it. And I was really excited about the course because I wanted to continue that momentum. I wanted to figure out, I don't know, I've always felt that I knew that I had the ability to lead, but having the ability and understanding like what's this your actual skill set in doing that, this course really helped me to define that. And my team grew from 11 to 28. And so within those few months. And so what I felt really this course, I mean, it was for me, but it was more for me to understand how can I better support my team? What can I do to help bring them up? What can I do to help them grow and really determine what their goals are? And one of the things that I struggled with in the first year of my business wasn't necessarily my momentum or getting myself going, but was how can I not necessarily inspire, but find what inspires each individual on my team and how to help them run, walk, or jog, whatever, wherever they are at their pace and really love the business as much as, is possible. And so that's really the one thing. The other thing that was really, which I found through the course was leaning into my business rather than fighting some things. And a lot of times we get into our own way in our business or in our personal life or in other things. And this course encompassed so many different parts. It wasn't just about the business, it was about who are you within your business? How can you grow? What rate do you want to grow? Here are all the possibilities. How do you want to lean into this and how do you want to use this? And so I found that really interesting. And I think Courtney may have someone just mentioned just getting clear on your vision. That was probably the biggest thing is what do you want out of this? What do you want out of your business? And yeah, that's really what I would say. That's not everything because there's so much. My heart was really full, my soul was really full throughout this entire process, and I mean, I think I look back on this regularly to figure out, what direction do I wanna continue to take my business and what can I use within this course that I took to help me continue to move forward.
Oh my gosh, Carissa, I'm dying. It just makes my Saint grandma heart so happy to hear. It's funny because we just learned I could not believe that you were actually, as we were chatting before the call, so you've got three boys and you're 51. I hope you don't mind me sharing that. But for anybody that is, a working mama who's entering into that season of you're not quite an empty nester, you got some time before that happens. But I know there are a lot of women that maybe feel like their season is a little they don't know what their season's gonna look like, and so, wow, you are just so inspiring. Sarah and I thought you were in your 30s. The fact that you
Thank you.
simplify all these things really beautifully, but it reminds
Try
me
to
so
keep
much
that energy.
Yes. So you haven't even heard it yet, but an episode that will have aired by the time that this episode airs, it's episode number 48, and it's talking about the path that every leader takes in their network marketing journey. And you touching specifically on that and moving from the me phase, which is you're focusing on your personal business, to the them phase, which is like, kind of focus more on like helping others. And then finally, the we phase, which is basically where you can work together and every action that you take in your business, exactly like you said, is not just centered on yourself or not just centered on them, but it's figuring out how you can do it together and learn out loud and grow together. And so it's like, I mean, I should have just had you do that podcast. It's perfect.
Well, thank you.
Yes. And, something else that you touched on that I think is going to be a huge value both to you guys, because you'll get this as well. But for those who do work through the Replicate Your Results course, it will be rolled out live each week, just as it was for you guys. So it's not too overwhelming. It's not much of a fire hose. It'll be an hour to maybe an hour and a half. each week that people can consume on their own time. They can tune in live or they can watch it after the fact, but it will live on like a course to where you can go back and reference it. We're also going to have a workbook this time, which I'm so excited. So you'll be able to, if you're the type that you like something tangible that you can print and you can kind of work through, it will be I think an even better addition for those who are going to go through it this next time. So I love that you touched on that. Thank you.
I do want to say though too that there was so much information offered that was so valuable that I personally had to rank sort of like what is important now, what do I want to do, where are my goals, and then what within this course is tangible, like what can I do right now to get my business where I want it to be, but then how can I use these other things that have been talked about and taught in the future. So this isn't something, I personally did not feel like the course was a 7-week course that you do the course and then you go on. I felt like this is a course that you take with you for a long time, long term. So thank you so much. It really did. It has made a big difference in my business and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That is so kind of you to say, because on that note, I did want to ask each of you which part of the course, maybe it was, and you can mention a couple of things if a couple come to mind, but specifically, was there something in the course this summer that really made a really big impact? Maybe a homework assignment, or maybe, one of the exercises we did on a call, or, maybe it was just something else, but something in the course that really impacted you and or your business that really helped you to see some of the results that you saw. And then whoever wants to go first.
Okay. Oh, well, I'll go. We all at the same time. You guys
Okay,
can pick
Courtney.
one of us. I think we all have stuff to share.
Okay, Courtney, and then we'll go to Mackenzie.
That is really hard because I had a feeling you were going to ask us that. And like every time I start to mention one thing, it reminds me of another thing, and it reminds me of another thing, and I can go down a rabbit hole. So I mean, because there are just literally just so many gold nuggets in it, whether it was like topics, that we touched on and like tips and tricks, or whether it was exercises. But for me personally, getting really clear on what I wanted and what was possible completely changed like my motivation and inspiration for why I do what I do, and reminded me why I do what I do. Not just for myself and my own business and my family, but for my team as well. So doing things like the vision board, because there's a lot of things I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to leave my job, which as a result of this, I did. I no longer work I'm an RN. Now I'm retired. I'm home with my sixth baby. I didn't go back after maternity leave. And so I just got really clear on what I wanted for my family. Because if I was really clear on what I wanted for my family and for my business and for my team, it made everything tangible and feel real. And then also I know we like looked at what was possible within our company and what was real. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know these people, and real people are making real money. It's not just like, like I think somebody mentioned earlier, like that stigma of direct sales and multi-level marketing. And you're like, yeah, but some people make $1 million. It'll never be me. But like, this has legit changed my life, and it's helped me leave my job. And soon it's going to help me buy my husband his first ever vehicle that he's ever gotten to go pick out in his entire life, even though he's almost 40. So real things happen to real people. It doesn't have to be that you get $1 million for a mansion. It can be that you get your husband a truck, that you leave your job, that you can finally take your first family vacation. And so by getting clear on what I wanted, what was possible, like to me, that might have been the most monumental thing, because I was like, well, holy crap, I can do that. And I'm going to do it. And I mean, look, I'm doing it. And I'm not anybody special. I'm just an average girl.
Oh, girl, you are far from average, but the fact that you are doing this as an RN, a registered nurse who just had her sixth girl, what in the world? In a little small town in South Georgia. Yes, my friend, you're exactly right. You're far from average, but I know if you can do it, absolutely anybody can do it. And it's not without a lot of hard work and effort. And I want to be clear on that. And we will link our company's income disclosure, because anytime you do talk about these things, it really is important, to represent what that looks like, because it wasn't something that was an overnight success. All three of you ladies had a runway, even though Mackenzie, you might have been newer in your business right before you joined this. You had a runway in your life and in your business, that you've probably been through some hard things that allowed you to kind of step into this with that confidence that you have. And so, definitely for anybody listening, you're in your season for a reason. And, it's just our goal that this can, like Courtney said, equip you to kind of give you that vision for what's possible and then tangibly break down what it looks like to get there. So I love that. Mackenzie, what about you, girl?
So first of all, Courtney has me in tears over here because I think that's such a cool testament to like I'm just a nobody. Like I'm literally nobody. Like I like you know what my job is? Like I'm nobody. Nobody knows me. I'm like nothing. And so when you see all these other women doing these incredible things, I'm like, oh, I could never do that. And then you have something where someone says, like, hey, let's, be a part of this. And I think this will really benefit you or whatever. And to just be able to take that and turn it into something amazing to where you take what you learn and you can actually apply that in a way that it's not like a math class where, let's be real, we're not using that in the future, where you just go to the math class, you get the grade and then you leave. But this is something where you learn it and you hold on to it. And for me, it was the one thing that stuck with me forever and ever. And it's the one thing I preach to my girls all the time is the law of averages. And that was one of the lessons that came up. And it's basically like, hey, you plant this many seeds. Every once in a while, a bird's going to steal it and run away with it. Don't chase the bird, focus on the seeds. And so now I turn it into, if you give your number to 100 guys at a bar, one of them's bound to call you. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to talk about your business. Don't be afraid to, talk about what you have going on because, that's how you're going to get the boys. So I just kind of make fun of it. I kind of have fun with it, but it's just a way for me to just like be silly with it. But also it's so true. And so the law of averages was a big deal to me. Don't worry about the ones that come and they steal that seed away. Don't go chase down and hunt that bird. Like you just focus on what you're doing because you've got a lot of seeds that are doing a lot of God's work over here. Like, let it happen. So that was fun for me.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Thanks for sharing that, Mackenzie. Carissa, what about you?
So I was really, this is a question that's challenging for me too, because first of all, I felt that the sessions were set up to kind of go in a way from me to we, because you go from, we talked a lot more about mindset in the beginning and then culture, which really encompasses less of just you and more of your team and what you want that to look like. So it's hard for me to choose one, but I will say a concept which has stayed with me. And I was fortunate enough to be offered within my team to lead a WAM, which is, yeah. And so we just finished that about 2 weeks ago, and it was such a rewarding experience. But one of the things that stuck with me from this training that I took into being sort of the overall vision for my WAM was begin with the end in mind. And so with that, I decided, beginning with the end in mind, that's what I wanted the WAM to look like. That's what I want my business to look like. And I even use, this sounds kind of outside of business. I mean, I use a lot of these concepts that I learned in my marriage and in parenting and other things now. It just was a complete mind shift. So, anyway, beginning with the end in mind, I would say was one of the biggest shifts for me because I remember it was either you or Sarah, I can't remember who said something to the effect of, don't worry about the how necessarily, just think about where you want your business to be or your life to be or yourself as a wife, a mother, and then do the things. Just do the things and your mind will find a way. It will find a path. It will find how, you will get there. And so anyway, that would be one of, if I had to choose one, that would be one of the biggest takeaways, only because I used it recently for my own training, leading a training.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Krista. And for those of you that might be listening to this and they're like, wait, what did she say? Did she just say Wham? Is that the song from like the band from the 80s? A Wham is just an acronym for weekly accountability meetings. And we encourage gals to start doing those with their teams and or leaders. We go over that in the course, but when to do it. But that's actually something we learned from one of our mentors, Bob Heilig. So we definitely want to attribute that to him. But it's made a huge impact in anyone's business that's ever actually done one. A WAM, doing a WAM will significantly increase your business. And confidence and all the things. So we'll
And I
explain
think and I
what it
think
is. But
team culture
yes. Oh
as
yes.
well. So, because when
What's
I think
cool is
about which session really impacted me the most, would be team culture. It would be culture was one of the sessions that you guys presented, and I thought that really had an impact on me.
right. What's so cool is a lot of these kind of it's like two birds, one stone. I feel like a wham is definitely culture. I also feel like it's a great system. So they kind of overlap and go hand in hand for sure. But yes, you can definitely create a really great culture through your whams. I've found that for myself as well. So thank you for sharing that.
I love that you touched on a wham, Carissa, too, because for any leaders that are listening and considering or have already decided to dive into the Replicate Your Results course, this is a perfect opportunity for you to lead a wham alongside it with your team. So if they are either doing the course with you or you want to kind of go a week behind, week ahead of them and learn it yourself and then share it with some of the high level leaders or implement it for their level, because these are high level leadership principles. They aren't meant for necessarily, unless they're a total runner like Mackenzie, they're not necessarily meant for that brand new artist. It's meant for someone who either has a desire for a higher level of leadership within their business or is already there. And so this is something they can actually implement as some strategies to incorporate into a weekly accountability meeting. And also things that we have learned that are timeless principles from some of the top coaches. That's exactly, we kind of pull it all together. So it's not things that Sarah and I have necessarily all invented or come up with. These are principles that have been proven long before, in some cases, our businesses even began. It's just an organized way to kind of group them all together. So the last question that I'll ask, and we'll start with Courtney on this one, is what would you say to somebody who's maybe, considering, but they're kind of hesitant to make the investment, whether that's the financial aspect of it, because it's not it's not a small investment, but at the same time, it's one of those that we wanted to be justifiable and also something that you would take seriously, something that you're going to contribute, your time to, but it is both as 6 weeks, 1 hour of each week of your time, and it is not a small, investment for the bank account, if you will. So, what would you ladies say for someone who, and I will say this, it is free for anybody who is on our Saint downlines, because that is just something that we believe strongly in. And that's not to say go join our Saint downlines. It's certainly not an incentive or anything like that. But if you are, for those of you guys who are a part of our teams, of course, and your teams are as well. And so that is a beautiful benefit. And if you are listening and that is you too, yay. But for those who might be just hesitant, what advice would you give them? Courtney, I'll let you go first.
The biggest thing would be if I was having a conversation with somebody who voiced that, I would just ask them, why not? If you are serious about your business, then if you made this investment and you learn the principles and then apply them, the key is always application, because knowledge without application is just pointless. But if you're willing to learn this stuff and apply it, you are going to see some form of growth in your business, your professional life, and your personal life. Now, we all measure growth differently, and you can't guarantee like, oh, it'll be rankings or it'll be money or this and that, 'cause it works differently for everybody. But that's part of what you also learn in the course is we learn to measure the successes, no matter how small, and not just, compare like what's lacking and stuff. So you start to really, when you start to be more thankful, you start to be even more aware of all the good things that are happening, because mindset's everything. You've heard several of us mention that already, and we learned that from the program. But it's just all you're going to do is gain from this program. I mean, literally. And I know I've heard some of the other girls mention it. Same for me. It has helped. The principles are just applicable across the board in life. So they not only can help you grow and be better with your business, but also with your marriage, with your parenting, with you have another job, because it's just like, it's good gold nuggets and it's stuff that's like, oh my God, why had I not thought of it like that? Or why had I not connected those dots? It is so easy to just like, once you hear it, you're like, oh, duh. But we need somebody to kind of connect the dots for us sometimes. And that's what this was for me. And I have seen nothing but blessings, abundance, and growth in every area of my life that I've been willing to apply the principles in from this program. And it would be worth $1 million in my book. So whatever it is, whether you have to go do a Facebook yard sale, you need to invest in the program, because all you're going to do is see incredible, like buckle up, get ready. Hold on tight, baby.
Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that, Courtney. You're so sweet. Thank you for sharing. All right, Mackenzie, what would you say?
To be honest with you, I say that you get what you pay for. So I feel like you get what you pay for. And I feel like it's a big deal to invest in yourself. But the big thing with direct sales and multi-level marketing, one thing that I have found is duplication is so important. So when you do something and you want to have a team under you, they're going to do what you're doing because that's what you're teaching them. So if you're investing, you're not only investing in you, you're investing in your whole entire down, you're investing in everything going forward in your whole entire business. Like this is paramount. I feel like it's a really big deal to really make an investment in yourself, which will pay off dividends. And I just think it's a big deal. I think the confidence and the leadership and just everything, just everyone coming together to inspire one another and motivate one another was a really, really big, huge game changer for me. I learned so many things from different women that were in different levels of their businesses, and success leaves clues. And if I have this ability to learn from these other people, it was just such a great opportunity. It was amazing. I 10 out of 10 recommend 100%.
Awesome, Mackenzie. Thank you so much. I mean, I would be excited to take the course. I really would. I'm excited to to put it all together. So you get me excited all over again, girl. All right, Carissa, we'll end with you, darling. What would you say?
Great. Well, I would just say that, well, first of all, this definitely is a next level training. And so when you said this is not for necessarily someone who's maybe a walker, how we talk about, different levels of wanting to move forward in your business, all of them are valid and beautiful and they all work wonderfully. But this is maybe for someone who has been in the business or knows how to run with a business. That would be what I would say this training is a next level training. And I think that just blew my mind because I had never had a training of this level with this much information that was you were able to use to put into play. But anyway, I would just say that if nothing else, lean into your business. Take the time to really think about, like, what do you really want? What's your vision for your business? And if your vision for your business is beyond where it is at this moment, then this is going to be excellent. You're going to love it, and it's going to be a great opportunity for you to grow.
Oh, well, guys, I am seriously so grateful for all of your kind words and for sharing the stories. And it's been really cool to watch because we celebrated you guys kind of right at the end of the program and y'all had already done big things, but it's even cooler to watch a month or two later to see that that momentum is just continuing to explode in your business and to hear the joy. And I think, Courtney, it was you that touched on this, that it's not just your business that's been impacted. And these principles that you do learn, they absolutely apply to all areas. And to be honest, that's the best part about this business model in general is the fact that you get to learn and grow while you're making an income to support the things in your life that bring you joy and fulfillment. So I can't thank you guys enough. Sarah, you too, girl, for being on here again and sharing the magic here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Yay. We all have a
Okay.
fabulous week, friends.
Thank you.
So, if you were inspired by the stories that you heard today and you want similar success in your business, if you are a network marketing leader or a social seller, or you have aspirations of becoming a top leader at your company, the Replicate Your Results framework could be exactly what you are looking for. And we are so excited to be enrolling anyone who is looking to level up their business between now and midnight on November the 23rd, right before Thanksgiving, friends. So if you want more information or you want to link arms with us and grow like these ladies have, head on over to replicateyourresults.com. And I am so excited to link arms with you guys. Have a fabulous week. I'm so grateful for your time with me today. Feel free to check out heatherkburge.com for all the scoop on all the things. Also, I've got a huge favor. If you found any value from today's episode, would you mind leaving me a quick review? Or even better, share with a friend by clicking those 3 little dots at the bottom of your screen. Sending you big hugs.